everyone. Welcome to the Mike Gormley Show. Conveniently, this is Mike Gormley, and we have a wonderful guest today, quite possibly my favorite Mexican, and a great musician you're about to find out, Valentina Moretti. Nice to see you.
Hi, Mike. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here. Thank you
Oh,
so
thank
much.
you. It's an honor to have you. It's You've been a very busy person for a while. I actually haven't seen each other for what, a couple of years, but in that time, a lot has happened. You're making great gains in the music world. Are you looking at it that way, or are you just looking at it like a lot of work?
I'm just enjoying the ride, having fun, trying to accomplish all my goals and dreams. And yeah, I do think I'm making great progress, and I cannot wait to keep going on and share my music with the whole world.
I remember first meeting you. Um, you were in your early 20s then. You're not far from that now. Um, but your knowledge of music and your knowledge of the background of music, uh, and not just electronic music, which is what you basically do. But I was just impressed that somebody your age knew all those things. It's just is it you just picked it up naturally? Did you pick it up in Mexico City? How did it all get started?
Yeah, so my dad was a drummer. Well, he's still a drummer. I haven't seen him in, I don't know, 10 years or more. But that's where I picked up music from. He would like listen to Pink Floyd and um, a lot of bands, Led Zeppelin, and that's how I discovered music. I was still a baby and I was already playing with the drumsticks. And actually, my first instrument was the drums, of course. So I started playing the drums when I was about 7, 8 years old. Then I started playing the piano. And when I was 10, 11, I was already making my first, I don't want to say songs because they were really not songs, but first music, um, I guess little compositions. I was already very interested in music. And and then I started discovering all I would just play the records that my dad had and discover artists that I liked, and that's how I discovered Depeche Mode and Kraftwerk and Gary Newman, and it just that type of music just spoke to me in a way that no other music spoke to me before, and I knew that that was the kind of music that I wanted to make, and that's why I make electronic music till this day. And well, sadly, maybe we can talk about this further about my personal life, but as you know, I got kicked out from my house, and I had to continue my music journey and my life alone, and that's an important part of how I continue with music and why in my short age, I guess you could say I know a lot of music because music saved my life.
Well, and so the music, there you were on your own at a very young age. Music kind of filled a void, kind of kept you going in a way.
Yeah, totally, totally. It was like a spiritual hug that I would have, like a special type of motivation, and it would keep me on dreaming and hoping and just waiting for something better instead of giving up. Like it gave me a lot of strength. And the funny thing is, like at that age, I didn't speak English, so I didn't even know what these songs were saying. It was just the music, the melodies, the texture, the sounds that it was just it felt amazing, and it was very beautiful, and I can really understand why they say music is a universal language.
Mhm. Do at that time were there particular artists or particular songs out of all the ones that you would be hearing all the time that somehow hit you harder than the others, made you motivated more?
Yeah, totally. Depeche Mode was one of my favorite bands to listen to and still is. And I remember listening to their first album, Speak and Spell. I listened to I Just Can't Get Enough. And then from their album Violator, I would love to listen to Enjoy the Silence. And also I discovered Gary Newman through a song called Our Friends Electric. Uh,
Mhm.
and that was just one of my favorite songs, and I couldn't stop listening to it. And yeah, those songs just motivate me. Kept I I guess I wanted to see myself doing that, and that's why I never gave up.
Good. And that's a great goal, but it's very electronic what you're doing now, but you started what you just straight into electronic, or you said drums. Actually, drums was your starting point.
So yeah, when I started, playing the drums, the piano a little bit, and a little bit of singing. But when I really started messing around like with music, I was around 11, 12, and I remember my dad had a computer and he had a program called Reason. So that was like my first ever uh, music software experience. And in this software, you had like virtual instruments. Um, I still remember them. There was a drum machine called Red Drum and
Mm,
a synthesizer called Maelstrom, something like that. And I would just mess around. I didn't even know what I was doing, but a friend of my dad explained like this is how you record, and this is very very basic. And I started my first ideas in that software called Reason, which I think still exists today.
mhm.
So that's how I started.
Yeah, but it was a rough beginning personally, which is, we don't need to talk about that much, but if you're on your own, how do you get this equipment? How do you get to this equipment? How did that side of it come together where you were actually able to make music of some sort?
So I have a very good skill, I guess, or ability where I make all the songs in my head. It's very funny because I'm always making songs, melodies, not necessarily songs, but melodies in my head all the time. I could hear someone talking in the street and there is a melody, or sometimes even with the dishes like that. And I think I developed that because, as you said, so when I was with my parents, I would have access to the drums that my dad had or his computer, and so. But then when they kicked me out and I had nowhere to go and I was homeless and living on the streets, and then I was living with different people throughout the years, I didn't have access to anything. But I music never went away, and it was actually like my spiritual escape. So, but it was always on my mind. I wasn't writing, I wasn't really recording, I wasn't even playing actual instruments. I was just creating everything in my head until I finally was able to meet people that they had synthesizers, and that's when I came into the synthesizer world through people that I met that they were doing that, and I was like, "Whoa, this is the instrument that I
Mhm.
want to play, I want to use." So all my life, literally up to this point, I never owned a single instrument. I never owned anything, not even a computer, and I was just creating music with the equipment that other people had. And so it was tough, but if when you really want to do something, you find a way.
Yeah, well, that's true. You sure did. Now, we're talking about you going from all of what you just described to pretty much a world artist. I mean, I find it really cool that somebody I know had a big billboard on Times Square talking about themselves. How did that ever come about? It's fantastic.
Yeah, I know that's incredible for me as well. And with coming from nothing, I still see myself as a student all the time. I don't think I have reached like my full potential yet. I'm still learning, and that's why that billboard was very impressive to me, because I was like, whoa, um, this is incredible. And the way that happened is that Spotify contacted me and they were like, "Hey, we like what you're doing, and we're doing this campaign. We want to include you. It's called Equal, and we would love for you to be part of it. Do you think you would be able to travel to New York to see yourself there and take some pictures and videos?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I asked Dean for help, which it's our friend in common, and I asked for his support, and he supported me. And thanks to him, I was able to fly to New York and see myself there, and it was so gratifying to see that happened because of the music that I was creating, nothing else, and it felt
It happened
very,
naturally.
yeah,
It
it was a
wasn't
very happy moment.
any PR person or anything. It happened naturally. They called you. That's
Yeah.
That's the best way.
I know it was really really good. Mhm.
And what was the result in like on Spotify and other, did the recognition go up, airplay go up, everything react to that?
Yeah, like for the next couple of months, my monthly listeners went really really high, and I was like living the dream, and I had like gigs, and then I was invited to do a Super Bowl campaign with official with the NFL and a famous Mexican band called Banda MS, and it was like a series of events, and then like anything, like everything, it starts going down, and then you have to work again, and
Hmm.
like because nothing lasts forever. So, but it was a good period of time, good experience, and I'm just keep on going.
Explain the Super Bowl thing a little more, just how what that entailed. Were you there, or was it a campaign, or what?
So yeah, it was a campaign, official campaign for the Super Bowl 52, and we did like a commercial that was aired in United States national TV. So for the Latin speakers. So it was for Fox Sports, the Latin branch, which is
Mhm.
called Fox Deportes. And we pretty much told people the Super Bowl starts now, and we did a little musical number, and we presented ourselves. We told a little bit of our story, life story, what how has been life and up to this point of being in a Super Bowl. And that was huge for me because Banda MS, it's like a huge, huge band, not only in Mexico but worldwide. Like they have songs with Snoop Dogg and
Mhm.
stuff like that. So I was like, wow, I'm with these guys. That's incredible. And yeah, so it was like a capsule, and we pretty much it was aired literally just before the Super Bowl started. So it was really cool. And we were not in that was in Arizona, the Super Bowl. We were in a studio. We were not in the actual
You were in LA or
stadium.
somewhere.
Yeah. Mhm.
Still, doesn't matter. It was
Yeah,
good
it was really
experience.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like a star, like with my own assistants and my own dressing room and the makeup artist and the press and I was like, wow, I feel like a star. It's really cool.
This is what it's like.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, congratulations on all of that. Are you
Thank you, man.
um, are you signed to a label, or are you on your own, or how are you getting your music out there?
So I have my own label. I'm not signed to anyone. And so far it's been good. I mean, I know being with a label or a publisher, of course, gives you more opportunities and more tools, especially marketing wise. But that hasn't happened yet, and I'm really happy releasing on my own, and it's working out so far. So my label is called Rex Records, and the reason why I did it is because no one wanted to my music. When I started making songs, I would send them to, how this game is. You
Yeah.
send them, and everyone says no. And I was like, well, if no one wants them, then I'm gonna do it myself, like, because a lot of artists get depressed and a lot of artists quit. When you see that people are not reacting the way you expected to your music, a lot of people get down and they just quit. And I'm like, I'm not gonna be a quitter, and nothing's gonna stop me. And if these people don't want my music, then I'm gonna find a way to put it out there. And I did my own
So
way.
it's pretty much through internet that you've been getting your music out there. It's no,
Yeah,
is there actual radio play, or are you anything like that?
yeah. There has been radio plays. Right now, my new single is in on radio stations in Switzerland. No, in Sweden. I'm sorry, in Sweden. And my music has been played in radio in Spain, Mexico, of course. I have had a couple of interviews there, and a couple of blogs with my music in Mexico, and even in here in the United States, in Chicago, LA. So it's been out there, and that's really cool. And 3 years ago, a German label approached me and they said, "Hey, we love what you're doing. We want to release a vinyl of yours, like a compilation of some of your songs." And I was like, "Wow, that's amazing!" So that vinyl is out there. it's just called Valentina Moretti, and you can get it like in Discogs, but you can get it on my Bandcamp too. And this is a label called Young and Cold Records from Germany, and they're like a new wave synth pop label. And I was really happy when they said that, because that's another dream of being an artist, seeing yourself in a vinyl and an actual record. Because especially these days where everything is digital, it doesn't feel as tangible or as real. So when I saw myself in the vinyl, I was really happy, and the vinyl is still selling, and I'm really happy, and I hope I can make another one soon, another actual physical record soon.
Yeah, it's it's not really necessary though. I mean, it is in a sense, but I mean, are you playing live very much? Doing gigs?
Yeah, I'm mostly doing DJ sets because I'm also a DJ, so I play a lot as a DJ. And I had a live show December last year in a place called Los Globos here in LA, where I was singing a couple of my songs, and it went great. I really loved it. So I I want to keep doing it. I want to keep doing both the DJ set and the live. I enjoy them both. And the vinyl, yeah, it's not necessary in the digital world and how music works now. It was just more of a personal dream. I'm very nostalgic. I love retro culture. I love the 80s because that's the music that made me the artist that I am today. And some of those songs are they're still just to this day amazing. Like there is no music today. I don't want to say it's just different. Like music from that era. It's just it feels better. I guess there's something about it that it just feels more real, more better. Not I feel like it was an era where everyone was trying to express themselves and be the best. And nowadays there's still that, but there's also a big corporate world that's just putting out product after product. Like a bag of chips. And
Is it too much?
yeah, too much of the same. Like you turn on the radio and it's 5 songs and they all sound the same. You don't even know who was who, and but not everything, not necessarily everything. But um, I just think that music was, I guess, uh, more art focused before as opposed to today. And having a vinyl for me, it's that part of like, wow, I have a vinyl. It's like a personal dream. It was a personal dream, and I got to do it, and it felt great. But yeah, no, not really necessary. But it's also a way to connect with fans, and a lot of people appreciate that.
Yeah, it's I just find it interesting because you know about the music from the past. Is not like, I mean, at your age, you're not like 12 years old. I don't mean to make it that, that young,
Yeah.
but it's great that you're looking for a different way of doing things. That makes it more difficult for an artist if they're trying to be different.
Oh yeah, really, really difficult. I think that's why a lot of labels and publishers are like, nah, we're not sure, because I'm not doing what everybody else is doing. I'm trying to be different, and I think I'm succeeding at being different, because when I listen to my songs, I'm like, wow, I'm proud of it. I'm proud that I don't sound like everybody else. Like I'm not in any trend. I'm not trying to be the next thing. I'm just being myself, expressing myself. And I think for me, that's how I enjoy making music. Like it's all about discovering yourself as a human, and discovering emotions and feelings that you didn't know you have, and learning new instruments, learning about new music genres. And
Uh,
that for me, it's about that. And yeah, it's been hard because a lot of people don't understand, not that they don't understand my music, but it's not what they're looking for. They're looking for the next um samey thing that's
and
and
that's an old story, and then somebody figures out how to do a different thing and it becomes popular. So keep
Yeah.
working on it. We're going to, due to the fact that we're on radio stations as well as podcasts, we're going to do a commercial break now. And going into the commercial break, we're going to listen to one of your tunes called Roller Derby Girls.
Yeah, that's the first song that I ever published.
Really?
Yeah, it's my first song. It's my first baby. I'm really proud of it. It's very electronic, very, very electro clash, electro house kind of from that era. And it doesn't have much lyrics, but that's what I was going for back then. And
Yeah.
it's cool to look back and see how much I've evolved. And yeah, it's my first ever song, so it's
Well,
yeah.
let's take a listen, and we'll be back in a short while with Valentina Moretti. It's the Mike Gormley Show, and here comes Roller Derby Girls and a commercial. See you later.